Good afternoon, Gills fans. Welcome back to Gills in the Blood TV. It has been a couple of weeks since we last saw you. Fully enjoying the World Cup, in full swing now. Did watch the Belgian game last night. Amusing to see that some England fans had a meltdown acca to some of our Gillingham fans throughout last season. Good to see it's not just Gills that get that treatment. But anyway, back today talking solely about Gillingham Football Club. The summer so far, I'm going to call it. I'm going to look at contract renewals, contract refusals, new additions, general look at where we are. Pre-season has started. The boys are back for fitness testing, came back Monday, and first friendly is less than a week away. I think we take on Sheffield United, which is nice and local for myself. So we'll be enjoying that one in the sunshine, fingers crossed, a week Saturday. And then hopefully there will be an England quarterfinal to look forward to straight after full time. But today I am going to start with new arrivals, and coming up on your screen right now are 3 new lads that have arrived so far. Them 3 there on the graphic are Dean Parrott, Regan Charles Cook, very posh sounding double-barreled surname there, and Josh Reese. 3 midfielders have arrived. Obviously, after the retained list was published a month ago, it was pretty clear where we needed to strengthen rather urgently, and Steve Lovell, who said that he wanted more mobility, more legs, more creativity in the middle of the park, has moved to do that pretty swiftly. Dean Parrott, for me, looks a really good addition. Turned down a new deal at Wimbledon, which is always a promising sign. Wimbledon fans were rather disappointed on social media, Facebook, Twitter and the such. Yeah, comes with good pedigree at this level. He had a big part to play in keeping them up after returning from injury for the back part of last season. Was at Stevenage previously before that, and obviously at Tottenham as a kid, so he's going to have a good grounding, a good upbringing in terms of playing the game. Wants to get on the ball, he said, wants to create chances, wants to score goals. So for me, looks a really promising addition. That's the first of the 3. The second one, can't say I know a great deal about, and that is Regan Charles Cook, who again supposedly turned down a new deal at the Valley, offered to him by Charlton, which is again a good sign. Had a look at a highlights package of him at Woking on loan in the National League last season. Looks to have bags of pace, looks to want to be direct, run at defenders. Very raw, very young, lots of potential, I suppose. Maybe a bit naive at times, but yeah, the highlights package looked promising enough. Obviously, it's a step up from National League to League One. We know that. How big, I'm not sure. I think the gap is getting closer between that division and the bottom 2 league divisions. So it'd be interesting to watch his progress and monitor how he does throughout pre-season firstly, then obviously from August when the first league game kicks off, when we travel to Accrington. Another thing, obviously fixtures have been released in the last few weeks. And the final one of the midfield trio to arrive so far, Josh Reese, who arrives from Bromley. Scored around 20 goals last season in all competitions for them. On paper, again, looks a decent addition. National League, stepping into League One again, local lad. So similarly to Charles Cook, it'd be good to see his progress, see how he attempts to make the step up. And I'm sure Steve Lovell obviously knows him because he was coaching with Neil Smith at Bromley a couple of seasons ago before he came back to Gills. So I'm sure he knows a lot about the lad. Yeah, so for me, 3 decent enough looking additions. Time will tell ultimately how good they are. But for me, I'm going to put them in the promising and potential bracket. They're what we need. How they prove to go throughout the season, obviously only time will tell, like I say. But yeah, for me, 3 a decent start in terms of new recruits. Probably need a few more in other positions, but that's for another day. So yeah, let's now have a look at contract renewals and refusals. Ben Nugent has decided not to sign a new deal with the club. It was offered to him by Steve Lovell, but Steve was very honest and said that he couldn't promise Ben first team football on a regular basis. So Ben Nugent has decided not to sign on the dotted line and has moved on. So we wish him all the best wherever he goes. In terms of the youngsters, it looks like they're all signing, the likes of Darren Oldacre, Bradley Stevenson, Finn O'Mara, Aaron Simpson, Ben Chapman. Just seems that they've got to sign a new type of contract. That's what the club have tweeted, but they are all done, so we're just waiting for official confirmation. So that's excellent news. Hopefully they can all kick on. The likes of Tom Hadler, Navi Nasseri, Elliot List, Bradley Garmston, they've all signed on the dotted line. Again, good to see. A little bit surprised that Bradley Garmston got offered 2 years, I won't lie. I thought it might have been a year and then maybe an option to extend considering his recent fitness issues, but he was strong at the end of the season, so hopefully we can get a full campaign out of him. But for me, the big two that I think we were all desperate to see stay with the football club are these two coming up on your screen right now. That is, of course, the Wall, better known as Gabriel Zakuani, and Irish midfielder, goal of the season winner, player of the year, fans player of the year, any type of player of the year from last season. Mark Byrne have both agreed 2-year deals, which for me is potentially the biggest news of the summer. I was getting a bit concerned. I know Gabby signed a couple of weeks ago now, but I think the Mark Byrne one was running, and I wasn't the only Gillingham fan that was getting a little bit concerned that he might decide to move on, but he has decided to stay with us, penned a contract for another 24 months minimum, which is great. And now I think the squad is starting to take shape with them two and all the other contract renewals plus the new additions. So yes, very promising. Still not quite into July. I know some fans like to moan that we still haven't signed enough and we're going to get relegated and this and that, and we haven't even kicked a football yet. It's hilarious, to be quite honest. But for me, decent work so far from Steve Lovell. Massive news keeping Burner, massive news keeping Gabriel Zakuani. But on to a couple of departures. One was obviously well known because Jake Hessenthaler was not offered a new deal at the end of the season, despite some confusion about the terms of his last contract. He has now moved on to Grimsby Town. So him and another man are coming up on your screen right now. As I say, that is Jake Hessenthaler pictured in his new Grimsby shirt. He has agreed to join them for the upcoming season. They made some decent additions, in fairness. I know a few of their fans are quite optimistic for 2018-19, and it'll be good to monitor his progress. And the other one is Glenn Johnson, which came out of the blue. Very surprised, massively disappointed, to be quite honest. So yeah, just a little tribute to both of them. I think we all know how good Glenn's work was with Thomas Holy, Thomas Hadler, Stuart Nelson, Steve Arnold, and also Louis Catterall, who looks like he's going to be stepping up into the first team picture for this season. He's going to be involved on match days. He's going to be in first team training. We're going to do well to find a goalkeeper coach as good as Glenn, and I'm not just saying that because I had the chance to talk to him back in October when he was absolutely superb to talk to. Really easy to get on with. He's top bloke. Interaction with fans is class. Presented me with a gift at the end of the season, a pair of his home firm's goalkeeping gloves, which I still need to get mounted on a shelf. Yeah, going to be missed. So thank you, Glenn, for last season. Short and sweet spell with the club. Wherever you go, I'm sure you'll be a success. I'm sure your goalkeeping firm will go from strength to strength. And hopefully we'll see you back at the Gills in some capacity, whether it's in a role or as a fan in the future. And Jake Hessenthaler wasn't everyone's cup of tea, but for me, you don't play that many games for one football club at that age without having something about you. He, for me, was always just a central midfielder. He was never a holding midfielder, an attacking midfielder. He was just a decent enough box-to-box midfielder, knew his role, tidy enough in possession, pitched in with your goal and assist. I'm quite surprised he's dropped down to League Two, to be quite honest. I still think he could have done a job in our division. But I will be monitoring his progress. I hope he does really well at Grimsby. It'd be great to see them get promoted with him in the side. So all the best to both Glenn and Jake. I will keep an eye on you. Progress. Well, Glenn, your goalkeeper's progress, wherever you end up. So yeah, that probably rounds it up now. Summer so far, that's what we've called it. As always, please comment down below in the box on YouTube. Please have a chat with us on Twitter. Get involved on the Facebook page. And hopefully we'll see a few of you at Sheppey next week for a match day live. Seems like ages since we've done one. Hopefully sun will be shining and we'll have a similar result to the one we did against Plymouth final down the league campaign. As always, please keep retweeting, please keep subscribing, please keep telling everyone about us. Until next time, up the Jills.